The crucial question now is how best to get there without sending ourselves back to some dark and dismal pre-industrial age. Now, there are good ways to do this, I would have thought, or potentially good ways, and you and I think, share the same excitement about the possibilities of the technological advances that have been made in nuclear generation, particularly small nuclear reactors. Perhaps first of all, tell me about your understanding of small modular reactors and why you, like me, are willing to take this idea seriously.
Well, they're the next generation of nuclear technology. So we all know about the huge nuclear plants that have popularised on The Simpsons and are associated with, nuclear plants in Ukraine and Russia and so on and so forth. But the next generation of nuclear technologies sort of takes innovation in nuclear energy generation right down to a very small size, so that these modular reactors can be built within 3 to 5 years, far cheaper than the big plants, and are safer because they can be moved. You can move a small modular reactor from one spot to another. And so they just avoid all of the pitfalls of the big nuclear plants. They're smaller, they're cheaper, they're safer. And nuclear energy is very safe as it is. The traditional form is quite safe, despite the alarmism around meltdowns in Chernobyl and so on. It just takes the technology to the next stage of innovation. And it means that countries that don't have a domestic nuclear energy industry already, such as Australia, could ramp up and scale up nuclear energy fairly quickly. In 3 to 5 years, NuScale has provided estimates that Australia could have its first fleet of small modular reactors in just 7 years. Now they're cheaper, they need fewer storage costs, fewer transmission lines, less concrete, less land than solar and wind farms. And I just think that they're a good alternative to solar and wind farms.
Yeah, so there's a good case to be made for them. I think in fairness, we have to say, well, the technology, I think, is proven, unlike some other technologies like hydrogen, in which people are investing some hope, green hydrogen. We have proven technology. We know the technology works. What we don't know yet is how easy it's going to be to scale it up to full-scale production and how that will bring the costs down and so forth. So there are questions over cost. That's fair enough. But according to Chris Bowen, our energy minister, he's certainly made up his mind. I mean, the issue came up in Parliament this week again. Oh, it's too expensive. It is too expensive. That is his answer. But look, whether he's right or wrong on that, Claire, and I've got a strong hunch he's going to be wrong, actually. How does he know? I mean, SMR technology, as I've just said, isn't fully scaled up, so we don't know with certainty what the final cost will be. And at the same time, I've got absolutely no idea what the cost of renewables are at the moment, because they're just not being costed fully, as we know, for all sorts of reasons. We just don't know how much they're costing. So how could he say on that basis that nuclear is more expensive, full stop? It's essentially closing his mind to any contrary arguments, isn't it? Which is precisely where we started this discussion.
Well, I'm not sure he's been given the right advice on this issue, because wind and solar have to be backed up by batteries. Batteries are not cheap. We've currently got a shortage of lithium and other materials that go into making batteries. Some estimates for what it would cost Australia to have all of the batteries needed to power the grid, to store the wind and solar energy, to power the grid, it's in the trillions.